Welcome to my cozy library office today with your Clean Reads book buddy with what I hope is a spooky and clean October TBR. 12 of the books that I want to read in October that are clean, romantic books, classics, and middle grades that are amazing with a touch of spooky, cozy vibes. 3 of the books that I'm reading are ebooks, so let's start with 2 of them in our first category, Christian historical fiction. Our 2 ebooks are The Cairo Curse and The Juliet Code, both by Pepper Basham. I was given the advanced reader copy of The Juliet Code, which is number 3, which means I need to read number 2 first. Book number 2 takes Lord and Lady Astley to Egypt, and they're not prepared for the dangers that are waiting there. In number 3, Lord and Lady Astley finally get to go on their honeymoon and they are going to the historic city of Venice. But, of course, to their surprise, Detective Jack Miracle is also there investigating art heist starting at the house of the eccentric millionaire Larrabee Covington. The Juliet Code number 3 is set to be published on December the 1st of this year. Isn't this a thing of beauty? Our first book is Come Back to Me by Jody Headland, part of the Waters of Time series. It's a beautiful paperback, and it starts out as a contemporary fiction, but our main character finds herself in the Middle Ages during a dangerous peasant uprising. Dorian has always believed in her father, but they have a strained relationship because he appears to be on a quest to find a cure for the genetic disease that stole his wife. So apparently Marian's father drank holy water to time travel, and he's left behind tantalizing clues that suggest he's crossed back into the Middle Ages. And when Marian gets there, a valiant knight comes to Marian's rescue and offers her protection. Sounds really, really good. Also, in our Christian historical fiction genre, we have The Gilded Curse by Marilyn Turk. This story happens in 1942 with our main character Lexi, and she has to go and handle the disposition of her family's vacation cottage. 10 years before, they had stopped to go in there because things kept happening, and her mom believed that the island was haunted and that God had cursed the island. An old family friend, he holds a lot of the secrets, but he promised her brother that he would conceal all the things that ended their resort vacations. The resort's popularity has waned due to the Depression and World War II. Many of the cottages have been abandoned. Is Lexi's destiny cursed by the family's history, or will Russell help her learn the truth and find peace? Sounds good. Our next category is Christian contemporary fiction with cozy mystery thriller vibes. And this is Muslin Mystery by Vera that's Sarah Hart, which is the lady that restores quilts, and then she's like, I think, the little quaint town sleuth. She gets involved in a mystery where newspaper articles are hidden in the lining and a mystery message is stitched on the back. What mystery is the longtime small-town Collins family hiding? Sounds really good. Next category is contemporary fiction that's not listed as Christian, but from what I can understand, hopefully it is clean, cozy mystery, Stranger in the Looking Glass by Jan Fields. And this is Antique Shop Mysteries number 1. This is again one that I mentioned in last month's haul and reviews, and I wanted to go back and start from the beginning. I mean, how adorable is this? So this is about a 40-something-year-old, and she is an empty nester, but she's also a widow. Her daughter's gone to college and she's content living in Vermont, but she finds out that her aunt left her a stately 19th century colonial style mansion, and she also left her this antique shop next door in a charming little seaside town. And she's going through everything that her aunt left behind, and she discovers a photograph of her aunt hidden in the back of a mirror. She's astonished because standing in that photo beside her aunt is her Uncle George, and supposedly he had died 20 years before that photo was taken. It's a mystery. If you've watched any of my videos or follow me on Goodreads, then you'll be surprised to know that our next category is YA fantasy. This is a series called the Queen's Rise series. This is book number 2. And I recently read book number 1. It's hard to find fantasy books that are clean and that aren't extremely gory. That's just been my experience. But I just happened to follow this author on YouTube because being in the writing world, and I was pleasantly surprised by this first book. It is very clean and it's wonderful. And from what I understand, all her books are inspired by your favorite villains in Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Beauty and the Beast. And this is the Snow White series. This was really good. Fairy tale retelling, mainly about the evil queen and how she got to where she's at. So in the first book, how she gets into trouble because she has a secret gift, and she is in the royal castle with the prince, and he doesn't know her secret. And when another shapeshifter breaks into the castle to threaten the royal family, Jezebel's secrets are at risk of being exposed again. Our next category is classics, and I have a very special edition of this book here, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is actually a Gothic literature, fantasy, horror classic. It's written about 1890s London, published about that time. The premise is of a young man who sells his soul for eternal youth and beauty. In his real life, as he looks young and beautiful, the portrait grows day by day into a hideous record of evil. It sounds super creepy. Excited about this one. Sorry about that, had to use my desk. Where were we? Okay, moving on to our next category, which is middle grade / children's with mystery. I heard some buzz about this and it looks super creepy, but not too scary. This is Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand, and it's about, our main character is Finley, whose parents are having problems, but they act like they're not. She gets sent to her grandparents. She's never met her grandparents. The Forest Kingdom exists in the pages of her notebook until she discovers that the endless woods behind her grandparents' house is real, and there's mysteries like she never imagined. With the help of her cousins, Finley sets out on a mission to save the fading Everwood Forest and uncover its secrets. Imagine if Wednesday Addams had written The Princess Bride. Sounds amazing. Okay. In the same category, Nooks and Crannies by Jessica Lawson. This is about Tabitha Crumb, and she's a girl with a big imagination and a love for mystery novels. She gets invited to the country estate of the wealthy but reclusive Countess of Windermere, whose mansion is rumored to be haunted. So she gets there and there's like 5 other kids. They're not sure why they've all been summoned there. A big secret will be revealed and put Tabitha's investigative skills to the test. Does that not sound perfect for this month? This is the nonfiction for the month. I won't go into it because I talked about it last month in September's book haul, the wrap up. I did not complete this. I'm going to finish it, and I'm going through this slowly because it's so interesting and it makes so many puzzle pieces of American history come together, and I love it. So I'm keeping this on my desk and doing it a little bit by little. And I saved this one for last though because this is a Christmas book. It's because it was given to me to review. So Adelaide Smith is too busy for fairy tales. She's working hard to get herself through law school when she finds out that she's actually a princess. So when she gets to this tiny European country, she finds out that there's not only a charming village, an opulent palace, but there's also a lot of family mysteries, some jealousy, and there's also a young member of parliament that just might be super handsome. So I'm excited about this. All of these to me seem super perfect for our October TBR cozy reading that's not too scary, but just a little bit creepy and amazing. Let me know what you're reading this month, and I'll be back, of course, to give a wrap up of what I think about these books. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time.